Hey there, YouTubers. Um, how long has it been since last time I made something more productive than just whinging about the dark side of the world, the shitty things of the people on this planet? That's why I have decided to make something more productive and probably also more positive for this time on YouTube. Um, so basically, tonight I'd like to talk about how to combat depression. Of course, in particular, chronic depressions, um, without having to use or undertake chemical substances or chemical therapies. So, yes, in fact, we have plenty of alternative approaches to treat depression so far as I can find. Um, let's say, for instance, most typically, um, I'd say the vast majority of um, of patients with chronic depression, they tend to, you know, their state or their state or statuses of depression tend to reach its peak during the day, especially, let's say, uh, at around, um, during morning, yes, right, right after you get up from bed and starting to perform your ordinary daily routine, like brushing your teeth, washing your face, or taking a shower, and take a dump or poop, whichever way you prefer to say that, and then you have your breakfast. But well, I tend not to have breakfast because since last time I I departed Australia to China. I departed from Australia to China, and I am currently living with my paternal grandma, and I'd say I got pretty much spoiled by the warmth and care of my grandma. So I just I do not actually I do not actually tend to have breakfast because I just um, let's say I initiate my own hibernation mode well after, let's say, 12 a.m. in the morning, 12 to 1 a.m. in the morning, and then I pretty much have to get a at least you know 8.5 to 9.5 hours sleep or hibernation per night, to in order to get myself fully recharged and re-energized, physically and mentally speaking. Yes. So yeah, I kind of got a bit of sidelined, for talking about you know my hibernation pattern and daily routine too much, but that's the idea. Well, you do not actually have to necessarily get up very early in the morning in order to remain productive and positive in terms of your behaviors and attitude. Not necessarily. However, you do still have to do something that separates you from those people who are unproductive and negative, or otherwise you will slip back into the sorry state of your previous eras, and then of course begin to repeat your past mistakes and patterns. And I have fallen victim to to such pattern over and over. So I dare to say I know the the I know one trick or two better than any other. Um, all things considered. So yes. So ba- basically, in order for you to get rid of depression, you need to first of all ignite your passion for certain thing or for someone particular for someone in particular. Yes. Um, so if you can't get productive in the morning, just wait until you can get yourself productive in the afternoon, in noon, right in the afternoon, right after you have your lunch. Let's say you get up at around 10 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. That's what I have been, um, you know, that's what I have been doing with my own hibernation pattern as well as ordinary daily routine. Um, Maybe next time I should film a video um, uh, about my daily routine and hibernation pattern so that you can get to know me more a bit or a bit more. So um, in order to combat depression, um, you have to learn to hold the line, because um, on many occasions I almost give in to the temptation of killing myself. Yes, and killing and murdering people, whom whom we mutually love and care for. So I I I I shall not give you guys too much details and specifics about the objects I have been tempted to inflict harm and violence, because I think that would just that will not help with your situations there. Neither will it suffice to um, to make this particular video productive and encouraging. So yes, um, whenever you start to when whenever you start to, like, feel upset about yourself, I'd say you should be then um, go to YouTube and search for some videos, especially music, especially original soundtracks of several prestigious video games like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, because that's what I've been doing. And probably, yes, you can also search Hillsong and try to listen to their, try to listen too, and in the meantime try to sing along with their worshiping music, like Passion, like King of Kings, and Love on the Line, etc. Um, yes, so you can do your work, um, and simultaneously while you listen and sing, while you listen to and sing their music, their worshiping songs. Um, well, that applies. Such method will definitely work so long as you live a life as a digital nomad like me, or a digital or online entrepreneur like me. Since you have you have the access to a computer and to a computer with connection to the global internet, you should be able to do that. Since I can do that, and not to mention that I am currently residing in a country where whose regime imposes one of the most pervasive, invasive, and you know um, severe internet censorship throughout the whole globe. Um, so yes, since I can do it despite all odds, you guys can do it as well. It should be as easy as ABC, or 1 plus 1 equals 2. Um, what else have might I have overlooked? Probably Passion. Yes, I know that sometimes you just don't have anyone to cold call or to talk to about all your daily shit and everyday craps, or pretty much every detail of your thoughts and feelings about the world, about how you perceive certain things and people. I know, and I can relate to such fact, that you just don't always have the access to genuine people, or to people with genuine and kind intentions to help you. Yes, that you know that's something that we just have to live with. Like the Gospel of John said, I have told you all these things so that you may have peace in me. In this world you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I have overcome the world. John chapter 14 verses 26, if I have got it correct. Just let me check. John chapter 16. Is it? John chapter 16 verses 20. Sorry, it looks like my memory doesn't serve me so well as I initially anticipated. Probably, Jesus. Just let me Google. I just have to Google sometimes to find out. Sorry. Is it John? In this, you will have trouble and many troubles and sorrow. Sorry, it's John. Such saying comes from John chapter 16 verses 33. Sorry about my poor memory. I beg your pardon for my poor memory. Yes. So you have to understand that troubles and sorrows and trials and difficulties will run and will always run rampant until the the day of the day of apocalypse, the day of reckoning, the day when Jesus himself returns. So yes, it will. They will all perpetuate until that day, until that certain date. So behold, yes. Um, um, Having said all that, I let's just say you have to um, you have to find your passion, though such particular passion might not be your lifelong dream, your lifelong goal. And let's just face it. Who can guarantee you will you will do the same thing? You will undertake pretty much the same tasks and project for the rest of your life? I think not, since people can change, and that includes you. You sometimes will change, and you will have to change, and you sometimes must change. In order to, let's say, receive the redemption from God. I'm not saying that you have to do some work in order to to receive forgiveness, to receive salvation from God, but you have to change your mindset, and your mind in order to feel better and live better. Um, and I assume that's utterly the absolute truth. In case you happen to get yourself stranded in similar situations like I do here, and I firmly believe that the number of those people who are currently stranded inside either in their grandparents' house or their parents' house have already, such number should have already exceeded, probably several tens or several hundred of millions. That's my own safe assumption. Well, sorry, that's my very own wild assumption about now. The number of nowadays, hikikomoris. Though I still do not consider myself an absolute or an extreme hikikomori, because some for quite for quite a number of times on quite a multitude of occasions, I still kind of enjoy having conversations and interacting with with some sort of people with some sort of intriguing and interesting minds and mindsets. So yeah. What else? Probably yes. Last but not least, if you currently feel depressed, why not try to help people who are currently even more depressed? Let's say you can introduce some video games to some friend of yours who could have been suffering from depression even more than you do. And let's say if you can bring them hope, if you can bring them more hope and joy, why not? Because in so doing, you will feel you will feel more, slightly or somewhat more accomplished than doing nothing, right? There are still certain things that you can do in order to bring you to bring both to bring both you and the people who have connections, who have associations with you, more joy and hope. Although such joy and hope might not last for that long, it might, such joy and hope might not, they may just diminish over time. Nevertheless, I have found such approach pretty helpful and reassuring, and in the meantime, highly productive. Because I don't know if you have, I don't know if you have previous experiences with training and teaching people. I'd say I have some sort of experiences training some bunches of employees or prospective employees or candidates, and I have found that by training someone, by helping someone, you will also gain joy and hope and sense of achievement with certainty. And yes, though you won't get rewarded, though you won't get the reward in the shape or in the form of in the form or in the shape of money, you can still do so in order to, let's say, make yourself feel much better, much more accomplished and productive than than trying to marginalize yourself with the rest of the world. And yes, and yes, speaking of making cold calls again, I have gathered some more new ideas to talk about, but I shall leave them to my next videos on YouTube. In case you feel interested, please feel free to come back to my channel and make your comments and feedbacks. But yeah, I will still need some time for myself to to compile the ideas and findings, and also a bit of a compelling evidence to convince you guys and myself about the benefits, the pros and cons of making cold calls. But yes, I believe in order to make a cold call generate some sort of profits for you, you will have to do some homework before you make the attempts. Though, yes, there are also certain techniques for you to give them a call in completely cold. But regardless, I shall leave such specifics and details to my next videos on YouTube. So I suppose that's it for tonight. In case you have any more doubts or questions, feel free to reach me via YouTube or WhatsApp. So thanks again for watching and listening. I shall see you on the next YouTube. Sorry, I shall see you guys on the next videos on YouTube. So have a great day or a great night. Stay tuned, stay blessed, stay faithful. Cheers. Bye bye.